Intro. The definition of war is as follows: a state of armed conflict between different nations or states or different groups within a nation or state. Emotionally, we are still in the kindergarten stage of emotions. Many of our leaders are spoiled brats. The world is still in a tizzy that Russia attacked Ukraine. Just think, one person can cause so much chaos. How can he sleep at night when an entire country is going through hell? How would he like it if another country invaded his country and a rainfall of ballistic missiles rained upon him? Not only that, but a caravan of troops and tanks 40 miles long was approaching his capital. Let's keep this simple. Either we stop fighting each other, or we will blow ourselves up. It's as simple as that. Mind you, there have been plenty of civilizations out in the universe who have done that. Only we can solve the puzzle. The only savior is humanity saving itself.
War is worse than any four-letter word. We think we are so smart, yet we kill our young. Let's put our politicians in a ring. I am right, and you are wrong. We are both talking about the same thing. Yet for centuries, we go on. War is a dangerous thing. Are we truly smart? At least the forest fire in the end creates flowers, while man's guns creates a cemetery. We think we are so smart. Let's put an end to war and concentrate on the real issues. Because your life is not in order, you want the world to be in chaos. We say we are intelligent, but are we? We are babysitters of the creatures of this world, yet we treat them with no respect. We would be sued in the court of our Father with our neglect. We talk about criminals, but it was the worst crime destroying this planet. Where will our resources be when there are no trees? Hungry we will be, orphans upon this land. Man has the capability to be true custodians of this land. Let's open up our heart before it's too late.
February 26, 2020. War. Billions of people are witnessing the slaughter in Ukraine. Can you imagine your world changing forever during your sleep? You wake up in the morning and have to run to the bomb shelter. An invasion like this hasn't happened since World War II. Where does this insanity go? What country is he going to strike next? Sanctions unfortunately hardly ever work. Yes, the common person gets affected, but Putin won't. We can't send in NATO. If we do, we start another world war. I'm going to keep this short. This is from CBS News. As Russia began its full-scale invasion later Wednesday, Trump told Fox News that this all happened because of a rigged election. At a mark Mar-a-Lago fundraiser Wednesday evening. He continued his praise of Putin and called him pretty smart in taking over a country for $2 worth of sanctions. War is insane. Only you and I can stop this craziness. It just takes one person in power to bring total chaos to a country. They are being attacked by three sides. No wonder the president of Ukraine is asking for assistance from the world. His country is violently being destroyed. February 28th, 2022. I need ammunition, not a ride. This is from CNN. Ukrainian President Zelensky has turned down an offer from the United States of evacuation from the capital city, Kiev. The Ukraine ambassador in Britain said Saturday on Twitter, "The fight is here. I need ammunition, not a ride," Zelensky told the United States, according to the embassy. Zelensky remains a prime target for Russian aggression, U.S. State Department spokesman Ned Price said Thursday evening amid Russia's invasion of Ukraine. It echoed Zelensky's own words that his intelligence said he has become a key target. According to our information, the enemy marked me as target number one. My family as target number two, Zelensky said Thursday. They want to destroy Ukraine politically by destroying the head of state. We have information that enemy sabotage groups have entered Kiev. I have nothing but respect for this man.
Convoy, 40 miles long. Washington, Reuters. Satellite images taken on Monday show a Russian military convoy north of the Iranian capital of Kiev that stretches for almost 40 miles, substantially longer than the 17 miles reported earlier in the day, a U.S. private company said. Can you imagine if a convoy extended 40 miles in Southern California? That would be from Newport Beach to LA. I can't believe in our age this is still going on. How much suffering has to go on? War is obsolete. A post from the Dalai Lama, February 28, 2022. I have been deeply saddened by the conflict in Ukraine. Our world has become so interdependent that violent conflict between two countries inevitably impacts the rest of the world. War is outdated. Nonviolence is the only way. We need to develop a sense of the oneness of humanity by considering other human beings as brothers and sisters. This is how we will build a more peaceful world. Problems and disagreements are best resolved through dialogue. Genuine peace comes about through mutual understanding and respect for each other's well-being. We must not lose hope. The 20th century was a century of war and bloodshed. The 21st century must be a century of dialogue. I pray that peace is swiftly restored in Ukraine.
Many people probably say to these poems, get to the point. Stop your rambling. You're not making any sense. I don't understand what you're talking about. You are speaking in riddles. What piece of the puzzle? What puzzle? I don't understand a word you said. Are we speaking the same language? Are you trying to convert me? What great masters? I only know one. You're joking when you say you are the universe. There is no kingdom of heaven inside. I've been alive for many years. I have never seen the light inside. Man will always be angry. Just get over it. I don't want to be a monk. What good is a spiritual path? Meditation is boring. My church doesn't teach meditation, so it must be evil. Who wants to be goody two-shoes? Kindness is a weakness. I would never teach my kids your view on life. You're crazy. Peace on earth. Good luck with that one. My mind is already tamed. See, my mind's dogtail is wagging always. The mind is not so powerful. What creative force? There is no global warming. Man did not go to the moon. It was made up. War is good. You need a man of no morals to run this country. Present-day politics will never compromise again. We are doomed. Armageddon is here. Man will always be man. We can never learn our lessons. God is an angry God. God is a jealous God. God is wrathful. When you die, you go to either heaven or hell. Only blank religion is the true religion. All others will not be saved. A newborn baby who dies without being baptized will not be saved. You are born a sinner. You must prove yourself to God. If you make mistakes, you are a loser. Winning over others is the name of the game. If you come in second or third place, you are a loser. If you come in last place, you suck. Nobody wants you on the team. Just ask Michael Jordan in junior high school. Look for the best paying job instead of one you like. Money is everything. Don't think about your fellow man. A person in poverty deserves to be in poverty. People on welfare don't want to work. Why should I help others? What has the world done for me? Who says the rich get richer and the poor get poorer? God only respects my nation. God is only on my side. You're going to hell. I'm going to heaven. I'm not made of stardust. But have you been smoking? Yeah, sure, the universe knows my name. God has no idea of who I am. God doesn't know my name. God is not with me. I've never seen him. The great masters told tall stories. This is all made up. If it's not in my scriptures, it's not true. My religious book is the only spoken truth. There are no common denominators between religions. Ours is the only way. This is what I've heard on this journey of life. We can make up any excuse to hinder us on this journey. Ponder this over. You are the most precious jewel in the universe. Discover the jewel inside. work. Learn to share its sacred treasures. Nobody should ever die of starvation. Clean water is deserved by all. A decent house for all living beings. Education is a birthright. Teach a person how to fish in life. Train them for a decent job that will pay their bills. Humanity must learn how to take care of this precious human body. We are being indoctrinated by Big Pharma. They're making huge profits for the world being sick. Share the wealth. Trickle down does not work. Why should 1% have more wealth than 99% of the population? It seems like a subtle feudal system is still in place. We replace kings with CEOs. Why are wages so stagnant while the rich get richer? Something is amiss. The teeter-totter is way off balance. Man needs to see we're all in the same boat of life. We are all in the same journey in life. We all can stop wars. Fighting is obsolete. We have the internet to truly communicate in seconds anywhere in the world. News can be broadcast in seconds. We have the intelligence to make this world a grander place. What we need is a combination of the heart and mind. Once man truly understands this, we can solve any problems. Both the mind and heart is essential to solve any problems. Look at our political systems. They can't even compromise. They constantly point fingers towards each other. Like, why can't we pass a decent health care bill? Millions of people desperately need it. If Congress had our medical plan, they would solve this problem. Same goes for Social Security. They raid the funds and then say that the fund will run out of money sometime in the future. It seems crazy to me. We need our leaders to be like King Solomon. He knew the difference between the heart and the mind. He was wise. Maybe our leaders should learn a lesson from him. To the Almighty, the One who created the universe, the true essence of love and compassion. Free will was given to all. The power doesn't judge us or condemn us. The entire universe is filled with kindness. God is kind. The Almighty is not an angry God. The Almighty is not a wrathful God. God is love that is so pure that nothing can taint it. You are not born a sinner. You came directly from God when you were born. So how can you be a sinner? Personally, I think we get more when we give praise to God. God is beyond praise. The sun in the sky needs no praising. it simply shines. God shines, simply shines to all. The kingdom of heaven lies within. This is your true home. It has always been there. There is a layer of dust that is covering your true home. All you need to do is get rid of the dust. With your intention, God will help you clean up your inner mansion. It doesn't matter who you are or what you have been. Humanity may judge you, but God will never judge you. We have lessons to learn along the way. How can you ever learn if you never make mistakes? All the great masters made the same mistakes you did. The only difference is they learned from their mistakes. They learned, been there, done that. I don't need to repeat this scenario again. Remember, it probably took them a while to recognize this and not make the same mistake over and over again. This is how you get wise. Wisdom is something you gain by practical experience. Wisdom is not theoretical. Wisdom is extremely practical. You can learn this in your life. There are millions of people doing this. Each one has their way. No two ways are the same. Even if you are twins, each one of us is custom designed by God. Isn't that incredible? God provides the tools inside so we can discover our true nature. Humanity is not ready to find the jewel inside. We have tried for thousands of years to get along with each other. War is not the answer. Once man begins to learn his true nature, the world will change. I admit, I don't know who's crazier, our president or Kim from North Korea. Both of them are extremely unstable leaders. When a president threatens North Korea with fire and fury never seen before, does he understand what he is doing? The next day, he ups the ante by saying, talk about fire and fury wasn't tough enough. He is putting tons of gasoline on a fire. These are the signposts North Korea needs to build its case for building nuclear weapons. See, we need to defend ourselves from the United States. John King took exception to the president's words. He said, walk softly, but carry a big stick. War will never be the answer to this problem. We have a president who can push the button anytime he likes. We have a president who never backs down. He will never admit his mistakes. He will never give an apology. He will never listen to advice. I think our president needs to go back 60-some years to the Korean War. Millions of people lost their lives. They have never forgotten that fact. They built these nuclear weapons to demonstrate to the world we can defend ourselves. Look, I'm not a politician. I'm trying to have common sense. Rule number 1. Don't put gasoline on the fire. With the president's few words, He escalated the situation. Unfortunately, there's no turning back. The president has brought us to the brink of war. A wise president would huddle around his advisors and give a speech. He would say, let's use diplomatic channels to resolve the situation. Frankly, I feel uneasy when our presidents would say such words. Nuclear war is devastation. Just ask the Chinese, Japanese, and unfortunately, we have nuclear bombs today that makes Japan's destruction like kindergarten. Robert Oppenheimer, the head of Los Alamos, who created the nuclear bomb, said the following quote from the Bhagavad Gita: "Now I have become death, the destroyer of worlds." This is the kind of destruction we have. So how do we go beyond this? War is obsolete. We need a president who ponders over his words before he speaks. Frankly, I don't know how to get out of this situation. I would have the world talk directly to China to babysit its neighbors. China must make a stand. Do we have a diplomat in office? It's more like an egomaniac. What kind of president ups the ante towards nuclear way by saying the following: the American military was locked and loaded for conflict should North Korea act unwisely? I think the president should listen to his own words. Each day, it's his words alone brings the United States to the brink of war. He plays a poker game with serious consequences. Each day, he ups the ante in rhetoric. He seems to enjoy placing gasoline on the fire. He seems like the bully at the playground, so arrogant. Millions of people are held hostage to his words. Nuclear bombs were meant to be a deterrent to war. All the past presidents, and even the Soviets, knew that. I watched carefully before the election. He was curious about our nuclear arsenal. He asked questions that didn't seem normal. Now he has the codes to launch in his hands. Frankly, that scares me. He will never back down. He will never give an apology. How in the world did he get in office? I have never seen a president who's so callous towards life. Millions of people could die. Yet, day by day, he is upping the ante. All the news media is saying, shut your mouth. You are instigating a nuclear war. How can diplomacy ever happen when you are spouting these words? Did your parents ever teach you any manners? You ran your business like a tyrant. Now the tyrant has become the president of the United States. I have always supported our presidents. I may not always support their issues, but I support the past presidents. But when a president has so much ego that he brings a country to the brink of nuclear war, I can't support him. As Theodore Roosevelt once said, walk slowly but carry a big stick. In the past, the United States and the world would not respond like Mr. Trump. He thought they were too weak. I call that great strength. It's so easy to spout out and flame your opponent. Diplomats learn the art of communication. Mr. Trump is not a diplomat. He is running the United States like a big business. Unfortunately, it can't be that way. So in the background,
I'm assuming that some sort of communications is going on. Yet, how can you communicate with North Korea when our president, day by day, gleefully ups the ante? I feel like he thinks it's his own personal stock of weapons that he can use wherever he wants. That truly scares me, and probably the world. I have never seen a president take such interest in our nuclear arsenal. I hope China comes in to rescue the world. I hope they come to their senses. The whole world could be impacted by this. Remember, World War I got started by assassination, and all hell broke loose. Now we have a president saying such crazy words that World War III could start. I don't even think he cares, otherwise he would shut up and not say anything. Personally, I think the president should not say anything to the press until this critical issue gets solved. That's why we have diplomats. That's how the past presidents did it. Yet, that took time. Now, we don't have time. Yet day by day, I wonder what kind of threats he is saying. Can't Congress do anything about it? Why are we just sitting there and not doing anything? To be frank, if a CEO says this, he would be fired. Is there any conditions where if a president brings us to war by his rhetoric, he should be dismissed? This is exactly what is happening. Somehow, the people of our nations knows it's wrong. We know we have a serious bully in office. Need I say more? But his actions could have serious consequences for millions of people. I hope our president would wake up. His ego and pride could cause catastrophe to millions. When he said locked and loaded, it meant he will never back down. I don't like to say this, but we have a maniac in office. His pride and ego is worth more than millions of lives. What a sad day this is. Do we have a diplomat in office? It's more like an egomaniac. What kind of president ups the ante towards nuclear way by saying the following? The American military was locked and loaded for conflict should North Korea act unwisely. I think the president should listen to his own words. Each day, it's his words alone brings the United States to the brink of war. He plays a poker game with serious consequences. Each day, he ups the ante in rhetoric. He seems to enjoy placing Vaseline on the fire. He seems like the bully at the playground, so arrogant. Millions of people are held hostage to his words. Nuclear bombs were meant to be a deterrent to war. All the past presidents, and even the Soviets, knew that. I watched carefully before the election. He was curious about our nuclear arsenal. He asked questions that didn't seem normal. Now he has the codes to launch in his hands. Frankly, that scares me. He will never back down. He will never give an apology. How in the world did he get in office? I have never seen a president who's so callous towards life. Millions of people could die. Yet, day by day, he is upping the ante. All the news media is saying, shut your mouth. You are instigating a nuclear war. How can diplomacy ever happen when you are spouting these words? Did your parents ever teach you any manners? You ran your business like a tyrant. Now the tyrant has become the President of the United States.
I have always supported our presidents. I may not always support their issues, but I support the past presidents. But when a president has so much ego that he brings a country to the brink of nuclear war, I can't support him. As Theodore Roosevelt once said, walk slowly but carry a big stick. In the past, the United States and the world would not respond like Mr. Trump. He thought they were too weak. I call that great strength. It's so easy to spout out and flame your opponent. Diplomats learn the art of communication. Mr. Trump is not a diplomat. He is running the United States like a big business. Unfortunately, it can't be that way. So in the background, I'm assuming that some sort of communications is going on. Yet, how can you communicate with North Korea when our president, day by day, gleefully ups the ante? I feel like he thinks it's his own personal stock of weapons that he can use whoever he wants. That truly scares me, and probably the world. I have never seen a president take such interest in our nuclear arsenal. I hope China comes in to rescue the world. I hope they come to their senses. The whole world could be impacted by this. Remember, World War I got started by assassination and all hell broke loose. Now we have a president saying such crazy words that World War III could start. I don't even think he cares, otherwise he would shut up and not say anything. Personally, I think the president should not say anything to the press until this critical issue gets solved. That's why we have diplomats. That's how the past presidents did it. Yet, that took time. Now, we don't have time. Yet day by day, I wonder what kind of threats he is saying. Can't Congress do anything about it? Why are we just sitting there and not doing anything? To be frank, if a CEO says this, he would be fired. Is there any conditions where if a president brings us to war by his rhetoric, he should be dismissed? This is exactly what is happening. Somehow, the people of our nations knows it's wrong. We know we have a serious bully in office. Need I say more? But his actions could have serious consequences for millions of people. I hope our president would wake up. His ego and pride could cause catastrophe to millions. When he said locked and loaded, it meant he will never back down. I don't like to say this, but we have a maniac in office. His pride and ego is worth more than millions of lives. What a sad day this is. There is a famous mystery school quote. It says, "It's by will alone I set my mind in motion." That may seem simple or not, but it means a lot. Yet, there's a huge difference between our present state of mind. Our present state of mind doesn't even consider this. Our mind is always in motion. What does the will have to do with this? Well, first of all, when you know that it's by will alone I set my mind in motion, you have a different state of awareness. The mind does not command you. You command the mind. That is the difference between day and night. That is the difference between being in the center of the hurricane are living in the whirling winds of the mind. This may seem like a foreign language to you. What are you talking about? What does this have to do with life? Well, let's take our present day situation with North Korea. We have a president who loves to taunt anyone who disagrees with him. It doesn't matter who it is. Hundreds of examples have been given. This is a man who speaks without pondering. A man who doesn't connect the mind and the heart together. We see when you set your mind in motion, you tap into the unseen world. You tap into the creative force of life. You automatically think and ponder before you speak. Well, in the past week, our president, by his words alone, have escalated the matter to the brink of war. He can't control himself. By his words, millions of people can get killed. Yet the taunting continues. All of his grown life, he has learned to taunt people to get his way, even if it means nuclear war. I'm wondering, why doesn't Congress do something about this? Are they scared of this man? He is weak-minded, has no morals at all. Yet the Christians flock to him. What would Jesus say? Floor is obsolete. There's always a better way. The world that still fights is not a civilized world. Now you even have a president who is thinking to use nuclear bombs because of a threat from another nation. Don't put God in this picture. Both sides of the party escalated this matter. There is a practical solution. You can figure it out. Imagine if the United States got attacked around 60 years ago. Millions of people lost their lives. The hostility would still exist today. We didn't have any way to protect ourselves, so we figured out to develop the nuclear bomb. No countries would speak to us except for the poor, for the one-on-one border. We are extremely poor. Now imagine, this is North Korea. If we could forgive our past enemies such as Germany, Japan, and Vietnam, we can forgive North Korea. Let bygones be bygones. Build up their nation. Slowly build a trust so strong they become our friends. If we don't see them as an enemy, but as a confused nation still trying to overcome the horrors of war. Look at a soldier today returning from Afghanistan or Iraq. How many commit suicide? It's an epidemic. Now how about North Korea? They never recovered. Does that affect you at all? An entire nation is suffering. Let's be like the Christ. Let's help our fellow man. It's by will alone I set my mind in motion. Nothing could be more practical than that. Does God play tricks? In my eyes, there is no sleighting of the hand. There are no tricks up his sleeve.
There's no illusion. God's magic is real. God created the entire universe. God is kind. The universe is kind. God is love. The universe is love. God is patient. The universe is patient. So if God is everywhere, then He also exists inside of us. We are the universe. We just don't know it. All the great masters have said the kingdom of heaven lies within. This is where we can discover the true magic of God. God's greatest gifts to us are His true nature: love, compassion, kindness, patience, tolerance. This world would be heaven if all human beings experienced this on a moment-to-moment basis. We all are amazed by this creation, yet how incredible the Creator exists inside of us. Maybe this is God's only trick. He hides inside of us, waiting to be found. We have free will. The great masters have come down and said the jewel lies within. Take this shovel and dig within. He can't dig the hole for you. That's where free will comes in. This journey of life can be difficult. Maybe that's why it's called a journey. But when one discovers the jewel inside, the journey becomes easier. I'm not saying it will always be a smooth ride. This journey of life will always have bumps in the road. But when you discover you are never alone, God is silently coaching you. He is always on your side. I truly think that's the greatest gift. We are never alone. I've been laid off many times in the past 6 years due to government funding and contracts ending. To be honest, I don't like it. It's a hassle to look for a new job. Yet each time I see the hand of God in my life, I can almost hear the silent whisper, I'm here with you all the time. Don't panic or freak out. You are not alone. I am here by your side. For me, that's magic. I love the feeling of being rocked by God when things get tough. We are all God's children. That same God exists inside of you. We are all in the same boat on the journey of life. I hope you like this advice. Magic is everywhere. Discover the magic within. Our life will never be the same. Great masters from the past came down to change our crazy world. Man has been fighting for eons. What has it brought us? Nothing but misery on this planet. Probably billions of people have died due to wars. How civilized are we? Do we truly think that by going to war, it will solve man's problems? We had World War I. It was the war to end all wars. Yet, only years later, we had World War II. This time, the war ended when Japan was bombed twice with nuclear bombs. Still, this didn't end fighting among men. Wars still continue today. Our current president is on the verge of having another nuclear war with North Korea. Both countries are ridiculing one another on the playground of life. Both leaders are very immature and unstable. I pray that someone will intervene. Where does all this craziness stem from? Why do we act this way? Man has to discover his true nature. Man needs to learn how to tame the mind. It's that simple. That's what all the craziness gets started, from an untrained mind. And that's why I say the spiritual path is the most practical path. Without a spiritual path, the weeds would then grow out of control. Anger, greed, power, control, these take over. We see it very evident today. We have a president who, if you disagree, will spend the early morning tweeting all about you. His words aren't kind, but extremely demeaning. The New York Times keeps records how many times he has lied. It was around 900 at the last count. This was only 7 months into his presidency. How can we know when he is speaking the truth? He has the nuclear codes in his hands. Will his ego push us into a nuclear war? Only time will tell. Each of us has a piece of the puzzle. We don't have the entire puzzle. We have a piece. Without your piece, the puzzle can't be complete. Ponder this over. You are more important than you think. For a second, last week, I thought I was in Germany before World War II. The KKK, neo-Nazi, white supremacists, and other hate groups came to Charlottesville. They came in hate and anger. They chanted slogans that would have been said if Hitler was still alive. Now, I believe in free speech, but this has gone too far. Millions of Jews were slaughtered by Hitler and his regime. Millions of people died in the war. One innocent woman was killed and many injured by a terrorist driving his car into the crowd. I saw an interview where a Jewish synagogue had its people inside of the temple fearing going out. Outside, chants that Hitler was in the air. Yet what does our president say? He says both sides are at fault. Wow, are you serious? He then, a few days later, makes a statement saying they should be condemned. Yet the next day, he again says the blame is to be on both sides. Wow, again. Our president doesn't regret what he said. Many of the CEOs on his business council resigned. Even the heads of all military announced that hate groups do not belong in America. We fought a war against bigotry. Now it's back and seemingly supported by the president. He even has members of his cabinet who support the alt-right. Wow, again. Just a few days ago, I wrote about Trump almost bringing us to the brink of war, and now this.
Last night, CNN called 65 Republicans to ask for their feedback. Only one of them responded. He alone spoke the truth. Did you know that the same thing happened in Germany? Nobody spoke up. Did you know that President Trump never called the mayor of Charlottesville? He did not attend the young woman's funeral. Did you know that the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups feel that the president supports them? Now that's scary. I even saw an interview where one said that our president is putting tons of gasoline on the fire. I'm glad to see some Republicans speak up. The sad thing is before Trump came to office, the main supporters were the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists. They continue with him today. I bow my head in silence to the young women and the 2 other officers who died in serving our country. You did not die in vain. Thousands of people yesterday had a beautiful vigil remembering you. I have faith in mankind. Peace will be on this earth. You are a piece of this puzzle. Wisdom comes in many different styles. A man may have wisdom in his job. He may be a software guru. I love to cook. Many chefs are full of cooking wisdom. They know exactly what ingredients this dish needs and when to add it. A politician knows exactly what time to deliver his speech. He would never tweet at 3 in the morning. He and his advisors would consult each other to deliver the news to the world. One word can start a war. You may have wisdom in business affairs, but running the country is a difficult matter. True wisdom is a combination of the inner and the outer. Without the inner wisdom, you are like a chair without any legs. You have no foundation. You just speak whatever that comes to your mind. The wise man understands the power of words. He knows he can spark a war or help create peace on the planet. True wisdom would never think about building a wall between 2 countries. This is so immature. Christ had wisdom. He would build bridges. He understood the thread that ties us all together. A man lacks wisdom and he mocks the handicapped. A man lacks wisdom when he says, I can kill someone on the street and they would still vote for me. If you said that 50 years ago, who would be thrown in jail? How about I can grab any woman by the pussy? How about leaving the Paris Agreement? Wow, only Syria and Nicaragua are part of this plan. Man of wisdom would lead the way to clean up the planet. We have garbage in our living room. A man of wisdom would have shaken hands with the Prime Minister of Germany. Where is his diplomacy? There isn't any. Unfortunately, we voted him in. He called for Russia's help during the election process. Well, they did try to intervene. I hope America learns from its mistakes. We need a man of wisdom to run this country. I pray that in the future we have a president who has both inner and outer wisdom. How about King Solomon? No, I wouldn't like that. He would be a great choice. Where are you, King Solomon? There's a great position opening in 4 years. John Lennon. Give peace a chance. How about that? We've been fighting for thousands of years. Look at all the wars on the planet. What have they solved? Syria has totally been blown away. Where can you live when there are no cities to live in? What is the effect of this war? Millions of refugees, thousands have died, entire countries in chaos. War is never the answer. A wise man would never declare war on another. There's always a solution to any problem. War is antiquated. It is a thing of the past. In order for the world to evolve, we must stop fighting. Currently, the music that is played is scratched. The needle is playing the same part of the song over and over and over. We think this is natural. The record player became obsolete in the 70s, yet the same scratch record is being played. War, 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 war. We need to play a new song. How about John Lennon's song? Let's give peace a chance. War is not the answer. How can we stop wars? First of all, man must stop the fighting inside. We must pull out the negative weeds that exist inside of ourselves. We must pull out anger, intolerance, and greed. We have tainted glasses. We are seeing clearly that the weeds are preventing us from seeing clearly. Any war starts inside of us, and then it spreads to others. It's like a disease. It spreads quickly. We totally think we have a God-given right to attack another country. God does not take sides. We have to solve any problems on our own. We act like spoiled babies. If I don't get what I want, I will have a temper tantrum. Wars get started that way. Wars will be stopped when there's an inner and outer balance of wisdom. Do we ever learn from our mistakes? History repeats itself over and over again. All the wise men from the past have said, learn from your mistakes. You are a fool when the same needle is playing the same part of the song over and over. War, war, war. Children have greater wisdom. They know that war never solves any problems. Look at Iraq. We've been there 3 times longer than World War II. Yet still, there is no peace inside. Show me a war today that has united mankind. By eliminating the war inside of us, we can stop the external wars. We can begin to discriminate proper actions to take to eliminate wars on the outside. How about talking to newborn mothers on both sides of the continent? Let's think outside of the box. What does a newborn mother want for her child? A warm and comfy home, food on the table, a safe environment for a child, a great school to teach the young. If she was involved in this process, I can guarantee you that wars would be stopped. The mothers would solve the problems. Politicians start wars and send young men to fight them. They aren't part of the process. Mothers are. Their sons are sent off to fight some battle. We need to stop glorifying war. Talk to any veteran. Did you know that in every hour of the day, some veteran is committing suicide? Why aren't there over 50,000 homeless veterans just in Los Angeles? Our politicians give lip service to this today. How many have come back totally traumatized? Their limbs and minds have been blown away. We make young men. It is an honor to defend our country. Yet, is any war justified? Do we have inner peace? If you don't, you are all on the same track, playing the same song. War, war, war. Inner peace is the first step we need to obtain. If a politician doesn't have that, we are doomed to fall in the same track in history. Man must start to pull the inner weeds. The wise men like Christ have been saying this for centuries, yet we say it's not practical. I would say it's the most practical thing any human being can do for this planet. I would say we are crazy not to pull our weeds inside of ourselves. Any problem known to man can be solved when a man works on the garden within. Your garden can help to bring the kingdom of heaven on earth. When the fighting has stopped inside of you, you put your piece of the puzzle into the puzzle of life. This is how wars can be eliminated from this planet. Remember that God is your coach. He is on the sidelines watching the game. It's up to us to solve our problems. As adults, we are told to be practical. What does that mean? For the majority, it means feet on earth. It means to go to school, get married, get a job, and then retire. We're all told this is what good citizens do. Yet, what are we missing? Why is there so much discord today? We are fighting wars all around the planet. Hundreds of people are dying from opioids today. Thousands of veterans are living on the streets. The Republicans, the Democrats hate one another. They don't even know how to compromise. That is something from the past. The United States is going to leave the Paris Accord. We have a president who tweets whatever comes to his mind at night. I could go on and on. Yes, we need our feet on the ground, but we need our head to be in heaven. What does that mean? It means we must be practical and pull the negative weeds inside of us. We have ignored them our entire life. Imagine the garbage dump that we have inside of us. We need to be mature and stop acting like spoiled brats. We are on the seesaw of life. The majority of us are sitting on the ground with our butts on the ground. We are not balanced in life. We follow the rules that are given to us. Yet, something is missing. We can't pinpoint it. We are off balance and don't even realize it. Christ talked about the garden within. He talked about pulling out the negative weeds. This is probably the most practical thing you can do. All the great masters have said that. You are a reflection of your inner world. By harmonizing the inner and outer, the seesaw will be in balance. Now this is being practical. Man then becomes human. Man equals mind. Human equals divine mind. Which road do you want to travel on? The road of anger, war, and destruction, or the road of unity, love, and compassion? It's your choice. Remember, you are the universe. You just don't know it. wise man knows when to be quiet. He knows that words can be like putting gasoline on the fire. He has discrimination to know when to speak and when to be quiet. Words are extremely powerful. They can be like a two-edged sword. They can help humanity, or they can bring a nation to war. Our world is a manifestation of our words. We're only taught to be quiet when we're young. At times, it was an insult. Our parents or teachers would say, "Be quiet," if we said something they didn't like. Over time, the phrase became a negative connotation. Whenever we heard the phrase, our eyes would roll and say, "I've heard this before," and brush it away. Years later, we might get introduced to meditation and the same subject might come up. Be quiet. The same images from the past arise in your mind. Sit still and listen. Yet this time we realize that it's very difficult to sit still. You begin to see that the mind is very powerful. Endless chatter is going on in your mind. You ask yourself, does the mind ever shut up? No wonder the masters have said the most difficult thing in the universe is training your mind. The mind could be your friend or foe. The same steps that you take to train your mind are the same steps to train your dog. First, you must love your dog or mind. You are not the enemy. You are its best friend. Second, with compassion, you start to train your dog or mind. By being aware of your breath, the mind will not see this as a threat. The same goes with your dog. The dog won't respond to threats. If you do, the dog might respond, but he will remember the threat. Over time, by focusing the mind on the breath of life, the mind slowly becomes your friend. It can still be a brat at times, yet the mind loves to experience the peace inside. All the chatter within was caused by a lack of peace, love, and compassion. The mind is like a tuning fork. Whatever it touches, it vibrates to that frequency. Behind your breath lies pure peace, bliss, and compassion. Over time, the mind melts into this frequency of love. You're learning how to tame the dragon mind. The dragon becomes your friend. Just come back home. This is what mothers tell their sons in times of war. Today, it might be fathers telling their daughters. We all want our children to be safe and not harmed. There will be a day that the world sees that war is obsolete. War truly never is the answer. We have war machines that think it is. We have a vast military industrial complex that is dependent on war. Let's face it, war is a profit-making business. Sad, but true. We need the same people in charge to see that peace is a profit-making business. When there is peace, there is cooperation. When there's cooperation, countries trade with one another. When this happens, the need for war slowly fades away. Why do we think it's our patriotic duty to send our loved ones to war? We are trained to believe this. If you are a peaceful human being, you are considered weird and unpatriotic. Wow. Do we ever get our values screwed up? War is not the answer. Look at Afghanistan. We've been there for 16 years, yet the war has not been won. Even the generals know it can never be won, yet trillions have been spent. More people are coming. It's time for our political system to think outside of the box. How can we stop wars around the world? What kind of new dialogue can we have with each other? How can we speak from kindness and not anger? How can we truly listen to each other? How do we compromise? How can we ponder things over and then speak? This way we won't be putting gasoline on the fire. Things won't escalate out of control. We need to be more aware of our true nature. Without that, the record will be playing the same old song. War, war, war. Ponder this over. Let's change our ways. We owe it to our future generations. Just come back home. Isn't it amazing that humanity is still alive? When I was born, the Cold War just got started. During the Cuban Missile Crisis, we had nuclear drills when you had to hide underneath your desk. Wow, what would that have accomplished? You would have been completely turned to dust if you were near the center of the blast. Yet by grace alone, this incident passed. In the 60s, millions of Christians talked about Armageddon, the end of the world. Yet people have talked about this for a good thousands of years. People were saying that when we reach 2000, the world would end with the Y2K crash. Companies and governments spent millions of dollars. Yet the year 2000 came and went without any serious consequences. Still, people thought that 2012 would be the end of the world. They looked at the incredible Mayan calendars for proof. One of their calendars had a 24,000-year cycle. People grabbed onto that and proclaimed this would be the end of man. Movies and books were made. Money was made to scare people and terrify them. The Mayans laughed. They said, when the calendar ends, you put a new calendar on the wall. This is not the end of the world. It's the beginning of a new cycle. Does God really want humanity to blow themselves up? I highly doubt that. Yet we have free will. Personally, I believe in humanity. I have traveled the world and fell in love with each different country and culture. We all want the same thing. We want to raise our families with dignity. We want health care for all. We want our children to be educated. We want them to grow up in a great environment. Personally, I think peace will prevail. You are a piece of the puzzle. Ponder this over. We are still alive. Sweet dreams to all. May the children of the world have sweet dreams. May the children dream for a better tomorrow. May the earth provide food for all. The earth is abundant. Man must learn to care for all. The times are a-changing. May we have sweet dreams. Can you imagine if mankind didn't have any nightmares? Imagine no more war. Imagine the U.S. not spending half of their budget on defense. Imagine not spending anything at all. We could use that money wisely. I feel it's a birthright for all children to go to bed safely and have sweet dreams. It's our duty as human beings to help each other out. We are still living in such odd times. Millions of people are being displaced. Families are being ripped apart. We even have drastic measures in the states not to allow these refugees into the states. Mankind must be a kind man. The universe is kind. God is kind. Man must be kind. In order to solve the world's problems, we must first be kind. Man has fought for thousands of years. Look at what that has brought. More wars. We have been in Afghanistan for over 16 years with no end in sight. Is this the 100-year war? I truly think that humanity must change. We must end all war. We must learn that we are all gifts from God. We have created a mess on earth, and we must clean it up. God sits on the sidelines coaching and inspiring us on the way. He will not do the work for us. Humanity must change on its own accord. We have free will. It's up to us to change for the better. Sweet dreams for all. Peace will come on earth. Mark my words, the majority of mankind wants peace and war, not war. Only a few people on earth want war. Ponder this over. You are a piece of this puzzle. I've been taken away by love. What can I say? Many moons ago, this adventure started. I was quite young. I'm young at heart, but I'm in my 60s. This is an incredible journey of life. It has many adventures. In the beginning, I tried to meditate on God. I would spend hours trying to connect to God. Many moons later, I'd feel at times God is meditating on me. I know that sounds ridiculous, yet I'm being taken away, my love. Day after day, love is truly taking over. Words can't describe that experience, but I see the world through different eyes. In the past, ducks and geese never captured my eye. Yet today, I am fixated watching them fly in the sky. Wow, such beauty in motion. I love staring at a pond, noticing the beauty of nature. Nature has a sweet language of silence and love. If you are open, it can communicate to you. The essence of love is like perfume. It pervades throughout the universe. This is our true nature. No wonder all the great masters talk about it. No wonder why Rumi is still loved by millions today. His poetry inspires us and teaches us. Rumi was a perfect example of someone taken away by love. All the great masters were in the same boat. Slowly throughout their life, they were taken over by love. This adventure lies inside of you. They say you can open the door and walk through. Recently, I heard another ingenious way. Why not dissolve the inner walls of your own house? By doing so, there will not be walls that will exist between you and God. Maybe the rules have changed since 2012. Maybe at last the light is becoming more stronger than ever before. Maybe, just maybe, this is a new dawning for mankind. Peace will come to this earth. Mark my words, this adventure goes on. We are all returning to the source. Yet this time, man will be aware of the universe. Wow, he is alive. Ponder this over.
Is war a game for man? I saw on the TV where someone asked this famous person, can man stop fighting? His answer was that man loves to compete, and war is probably the greatest competition. Sporting events are legalized war. How far have we progressed or de-regressed? The Romans would have the gladiators and the lion. We have the WWF. We love the drama. We all know that wrestling is a fake, but they put on an incredible show. Yet millions of people love the show. Is war good versus evil? Is it really worth that millions die from it? Generals ponder the next move. The coach makes the next play. In the end, have we progressed? Would this world be better if man held his tongue? Imagine how many wars might have been stopped. Before we speak to anyone, remember to hold your tongue. Listen. Did you truly understand? It might be a good idea to repeat what the other person just said. Therefore, both parties will understand. How many times have we regretted what we said? If only we would have waited, words might not come out. The wise man has nothing to prove. Speak wisely. This is the clue.
Do you know how to listen? Is life a conversation where you are the center of attention? Are you always right? Do you always fight for your position? Is conversation a struggle? I must make them see my point of view. Only my way is right. A wise man listens to others. He learns by the words of others. He will not attempt to sway you or put his spin on it. He knows how to give and take. If only we could listen, our world would be in a better place. I love you. There's nothing else to say. Never put a but at the end. I love you is unconditional. If you can truly say this and have no buts, then your life will bloom. Love is acceptance. By truly loving someone, this will dissolve most of our baggage. We need for each of us to be a foundation. Practice what you preach. How many times have we heard this expression? Yet does man truly follow it? The world would be different. Harmony would reside. We would accept all peoples, races, and color. Man would rejoice that we're all different, yet the same. It all begins with practice. What you preach. Maybe man's action should be dictated by his sleep. If a man thought, will this action allow me to sleep well at night? If it does, then follow it. If the action will lead to becoming restless at night, I would definitely think more before I act. If the action would lead to a nightmare, don't do it. Our sleep is a reflection of our life. Remember, the wise man likes a good night's sleep. Therefore, our life will be content.
Aggression. The definition of aggression is as follows. Noun. Hostile or violent behavior or attitudes towards another. Readiness to attack or confront. Similar. Hostility. Aggressiveness. Belligerent. Antagonism. Militancy. Warmongering. Warlikeness, violence, attack, assault, encroachment, offense, invasion, infringement. Where do all wars start? They start from the aggressions of the mind. Every single war has started that way. An aggressive thought turns into aggressive action. Mind you, it doesn't take too much. A leader could have had a bad night's sleep. It's as simple as that. The snowball starts going down the hill. Before you know it, it's out of control. The increased anger state of mind leads to aggression. Mind you, clarity has done an exit stage left. Snipus has left the stage. The mind is in a chaotic state. Presidents have said, my button is larger than your button. They were talking about nuclear weapons. Mind you, that is a scary thought. Why don't we vote for presidents who have stable thoughts? You would think we would have learned our lessons. Apparently not.
There would be no war if man was peaceful. There would be no fights between man. You may have a different point of view. We are all different flowers. How boring it would be if all the flowers in the world were sunflowers. To be peaceful is the greatest strength. War is easy compared to peace. It's easy to blow up and fight your fellow man. It takes a wise man to defuse the bomb of anger within. Throw away your bombs. Throw away your ideas that my way is the only way. I'm going to conquer you. Discover the inner peace of life. It's like dumping that Oreo cookie in a glass of milk. Did you know that God does not bring peace on earth? That is our choice. Do you know that God won't stop a war? That is our choice. Did you know that God won't stop poverty on earth? That is our choice. God won't stop the problems we have created. That is our choice. Did you know that balance is the key to life? A person who's fanatical can't see the forest from the trees. Even if you are a fanatic for God, you can't think properly. Look at all the religious wars. My religion is better than yours. God is only on my side only. God does not take sides. Man creates wars. God doesn't. He has never started a war. By being balanced in all areas of your life, you develop a healthy relationship with God. You become mature in all levels of your life. You find your true nature. Your true nature is balance. Look at the great masters. They were totally balanced. They said we could also be balanced. They showed the way. Ponder these words. They have an inner meaning.
Life is a game. Life is a game. With all games, there are rules. The wise men in the past presented man the rules to play this game. Kindness, love, and compassion were the rules. Unfortunately, man has been fighting for thousands of years. What has that gotten us? More wars and misery. Maybe we should open up the great scriptures and read the rule book again. It would be great if we could put these words into actions. How many innocent people have died in all the wars? Too many to count. If we want peace on earth, we need to understand the rules on how to get there. Fighting would never bring peace. It would just bring another war. From me to we. Can you imagine there are civilizations out there that are billions of years old? Just think, they went through the same scenarios we did. War, and war. Some blew themselves up. Some graduated from a war state to a God state. They went from a consciousness of me to we. Mind you, we are quite far from that. Our world is eternal. I even see it in my life. When I get caught up in me, I can't see the forest from the trees. I take things too personally. Yet, when I have the awareness of we, my life is calm and serene. Personally, in each and every moment, we are learning and growing. We have a long ways to go. Everything must change for the better. An revolution is occurring right before our eyes. We are going from me to we. Mankind has never done this before. We've had glimpses of it. Granted, it will take time. Millions of people are dreaming about the same thing. Peace on earth. Life is a game. Life is a game. With all games, there are rules. The wise men in the past presented man the rules to play this game. Kindness, love, and compassion were the rules. Unfortunately, man has been fighting for thousands of years. What has that gotten us? More wars and misery. Maybe we should open up the great scriptures and read the rule book again. It would be great if we could put these words into actions. How many innocent people have died in all the wars? Too many to count. If we want peace on earth, we need to understand the rules on how to get there. Fighting will never bring peace. It will just bring another war. From me to we. Can you imagine there are civilizations out there that are billions of years old. Just think, they went through the same scenarios we did. War, and war. Some blew themselves up. Some graduated from a war state to a God state. They went from a consciousness of me to we. Mind you, we are quite far from that. Our world is eternal. I even see it in my life. When I get caught up in me, I can't see the forest from the trees. I take things too personally. Yet, when I have the awareness of we, my life is calm and serene. Personally, in each and every moment, we are learning and growing. We have a long ways to go. Everything must change for the better. And revolution is occurring right before our eyes. We are going from me to we. Mankind has never done this before. We've had glimpses of it. Granted, it will take time. Millions of people are dreaming about the same thing. Peace on earth. Wherever you advise a ruler in the way of the Tao, counsel him not to use force to conquer the universe, for this would only cause resistance. Thorn bushes spring up whenever the army has passed. Lean years follow in the wake of a great war. Just do what needs to get done. Never take advantage of power. Achieve results, but never glory in them. Achieve results, but never boast. Achieve results, but never be proud. Achieve results, because this is the natural way. Achieve results, but not through violence. Force is followed by loss of strength. This is not the way of Tao. That which goes against the Tao comes to an early end. Commentary. Mankind has been fighting for thousands of years. What a joke. A forest fire will bring regrowth back to a forest, while war brings a young man back in a box. Yet we still fight and kill. How many civilizations have fallen due to war? Nations have been bankrupt. The United States, around 60% of our budget is for the defense. Yet during this global shutdown, we are scrambling for medical supplies. Common sense is uncommon. Why do we elect leaders that are warmongers? Why do we elect a president who has no morals or virtues? Many people say they don't care. The economy is the only thing that matters. Look, I'm not smart, super smart or intelligent. Yet in early January, when I first heard about this silent virus in China, I got concerned. Maybe my intuition kicked in. I had global concern. We could have done something as soon as it broke out. Instead, we had direct flights from China to the rest of the world. We hummed and hawed all along the way. It was a disgrace. Thousands of people are dying from this. Politics got in the way. Science was saying we had better do something fast, while politicians didn't believe in their advice. As a world, we need a change for the better. We need drastic changes. Mankind needs to be shaken in their boots for true change to occur. Maybe that won't even work. Bring back the good old days. The grass is not greener on the other side of the hill. It's burnt. We must take responsibility for our piece of the puzzle. Just think, Lao Tzu wrote this over 2,600 years ago. It is pertinent today. $31. Good weapons are instruments of fear. All creatures hate them. Therefore, followers of Tao never use them. The wise man prefers the left. The man of war prefers the right. Weapons are instruments of fear. They are not a wise man's tool. He uses them only when he has no choice. Peace and quiet are dear to his heart, and victory, no cause for rejoicing. If you rejoice in victory, then you delight in killing. If you delight in killing, you cannot fulfill yourself. On happy occasions, precedence is given to the left. On sad occasions, to the right. In the army, the general stands on the left, the commander-in-chief on the right. This means that war is conducted like a funeral. When many people are being killed, they should be mourned in heartfelt sorrow. That is why a victory must be observed like a funeral. Commentary. Lao Tzu continues with the horrors of war. War is not justified. One who follows the Tao will always find a solution or way out. We've been fighting for thousands of years. It is considered an honor to fight for your country. Yet the Tao does not take sides. God does not take sides. We praise the new weapons being created. We honor them and rejoice in how many people could get killed by them. Wars have been occurring for thousands of years. There has been very little time in history when there wasn't a war. Where does war stem from? When one is not in harmony with the Tao and God, there is an internal war within. This internal war will be manifested into external war. It's as simple as that. Yet still, today, we think war is justified. I'll teach you a lesson you will never forget. That's called ego and arrogance. We have leaders today that act that way. According to the Tao, we need leaders who are in harmony with the Tao. We need honorable rulers. They need to have ethics and morals. Somehow, in America, many people have overlooked that one. Personally, I think Mother Nature is trying to teach us a lesson. The whole world is shut down. We must reflect and see what's the next step. War is not the answer. It is obsolete. We have made war a proud event and a privilege to fight. Mankind is being brainwashed. The true jewel exists inside of you, waiting to be discovered.
Pollyanna. Some people may accuse me of being a Pollyanna. To be quite frank, I am. I believe in the human potential of man. I've said many times before that the human body is wired up to discover our true nature. What would be the purpose of that? Why do we keep spinning our wheels? Where are we going? Millions of people are waking up from their slumber. Kindness is our true nature. Through kindness, we can change this world. You may think kindness is weak, but the entire universe foundation is kindness. Yet, in our society, one who is vain is considered the strong one. We have it all backwards. A kind person will change the world around him. If everyone was kind, the entire world would be transformed. Mankind would be a kind man. War would be a thing of the past. Kindness is a creative force of God. I love the Dalai Lama, who says, "Kindness is my religion." Did you know that kindness starts by planting a seed in your inner garden? Day by day, you pull the inner weeds and tend your crop. Kindness will grow under these conditions. Slowly, anger and hatred will disappear in your life. They won't 100% go away because duality is a course of life. Yet, you will be in balance. Today, hatred and anger rules the land. The answer lies inside of you. This is not only spiritual, yet practical. This is your true essence. We have simply forgotten. It doesn't matter who you are. Everyone's pure essence is the same. Ponder this over. What is keeping you alive? Behind your breath lies the answer.
In Peru, darkness. When I was young, my brother and I had a paper route. Once a month, we had to collect money from our customers. One night, I was out by myself. A man was hiding in the bushes and said, "Hey kid, come here." I ran as fast as I could down the block. I was traumatized. From that day forward, I was scared of the dark. I ran when I had to take out the trash at night. To make a long story short, when I was 18 years old, I wanted to travel the world. I wondered how I could do it if I was scared of the dark. I had to face my deepest fears. Well, my motivation was greater than my fear. I overcame my fears and I loved to watch the stars at night. I went all around the world, soaking in different cultures. It was experience of a lifetime. Beyond our fears lies incredible experiences. Our fears hold us back in life. What is holding you back? We are all in the same boat together, called the ocean of life. Let's help each other on this journey. Let's help each other face our fears. That is part of the video game of life. We can go to the next level. We can soar like an eagle. This is our true nature. Misfits. There are no misfits. They are a figure of your discrimination. When you see a person of another color, race, or creed, rejoice. The entire universe embraces diversity. Don't get caught in the web of your limited thought. The power of love is sustaining the entire universe. The power that is keeping you alive is keeping the entire universe alive. Because we only focus externally, we are divided. We only identify what we know. If someone has a different color, religion, or race, we tend to mock them. Yet the Creator never mocks its creation. Only people who have tainted glasses mock the other person. Wearing murky glasses create shady vision. Shady vision leads to discrimination. Discrimination leads to violence. Violence leads to war. War leads to repeat itself. This is an ugly cycle. This cycle has been repeated thousands of times. When will we go beyond this broken record? The wise man says, discover your true nature. You exist inside each human being. Your essence is the same.
Atrocity of atrocities. This came from Mark Twain. It kind of sums up what is going on today. Unfortunately, this has been going on for thousands of years. Man is the only animal that deals in that atrocity of atrocities, war. He is the only one that gathers his brethren about him and goes forth in cold blood and calm pulse to exterminate his kind. He is the only animal that for so rages will march out and help to slaughter strangers of his own species who have done him no harm and with whom he has no quarrel. And in the intervals between campaigns, he washes the blood off his hands and works for the universal brotherhood of man with his mouth. What is man?